Nintendo Switch. This one says not turning on 0.45 amps. This lot has not been exciting, unfortunately. It's been mostly no fixes, so I'm not overly optimistic about the prospects of this one. We're going to take a look in the port just to make sure there's nothing going on there before I plug in power. And it appears to be relatively good shape. Used, but good shape. Alright, let's test. And we're getting 0 amp draw. We are connected. Oh, there we go. Now we're getting the 0.47 that they were talking about. That could be Pi 3 USB. It could also be the NAND or various other things. Like I said, judging by the fun that this lot has been, I mean, fully expecting a NAND issue. But let's plug it to the PC and make sure we're not in RCM. No RCM device detected. And no RCM device detected. Okay, so at least there's that, but that doesn't mean anything good is happening. I'm going to clean this out, but again, with the 0.47 draw, I guess we could plug up the OEM real fast with a meter just to make sure of what it's doing. See if we're getting the 15 volts. That would at least tell us that, yeah, we're at straight 0.48. So 14.7 at 0.48. So that tells me at least the M92T36 is probably okay. So I don't think it's a problem with that. It's either going to be Pi 3 USB, unless there's something else obvious on the board, or NAND. That's pretty much the choices, unfortunately, that I have run into. And that's just a guess on the NAND thing, but when you had no shorts anywhere else, and like on this last one, I definitely think was NAND because I was getting a battery symbol and then nothing. No matter what I had plugged into it, the PSU, the battery dongle, a known good battery, yeah, and there was literally nothing else wrong with the board that I could tell. So that was definitely a NAND, I believe. I mean, it could be memory, it could CPU, unlikely, but you know, I think it was NAND. Anyway, we'll see if this one's going to suffer the same fate. Okay, we have been part enough to do some initial testing. I'm not optimistic it's going to display in any way, but we'll give it a go anyhow. Okay, well, we definitely have a bad Pi 3 USB. So this is the line that goes through M92T36 to the Pi 3 USB, and it is definitely, well, make sure it is shorted. Get a more reliable ground. Yeah, it is shorted. Let's check everything else. I'm not expecting any shorts on M92 T36. But that gives me some enthusiasm about this one, at least. More enthusiasm than I had when I started. Invincible fuse is still invincible. Switching to microscope. Sorry I didn't have it on earlier. But I've shown this process a million times, so go back to an earlier video if you want to see it up close. Ground. Okay, None of these should have a pathway to ground. Everything looks good. One of these should. That one. Okay. Check around our BQ. Make sure we don't have shorts. Make sure we have continuity through our coil. This coil's not loose. Alright. Everything but the Pi 3 USB appears to be good, and just up close I'll point out which cap is testing bad. So this side of this cap, the one going to N92T36 is showing short, and that one is directly linked to Pi 3 USB. So we need to disassemble entirely and test around the Pi 3 USB, make sure there isn't anything else wrong in that area, and then we'll replace the Pi 3 USB and go from there. Okay, we're out of the housing and we're ready to do further testing. Switch to the microscope, and I don't think any testing is required here. We do need to test the filters, but that is a big old scorch mark on our Pi 3 USB there. So it is definitely a toast. But let's take a look at our filters and make sure they are good. It's always good to know that all the protection, you know, the invincible fuse, filters, didn't do anything to protect this chip. Get nickel. Oh yeah, shorted like a mofo because it blew its guts up. So in this case, we will probably have to remove the chip and hope like Hades that that short goes away with it. While I am turning on my equipment, these are my expected temperatures for this job. They are subject to change if something else comes up. I'll cover the temperatures if they do change, but I will not be updating the card. Okay, let's remove this guy. And everybody cross their fingers. Okay, let's test, see if our short disappears. Yay! Small miracles on this lot. I would not have been surprised if it had stayed. Alright, let's put the new one on, which I already have ready to put on. So all we gotta do is heat this solder back up and put it on. Okay, let's check and see if our behavior, well, first of all, let's make sure our short did not return. That would be a good thing to check before we place power to this system. I managed to send support a little bit. I'm doing a Phil barbecue. Okay, looks good. Alright, let's perform a test and see what sort of behavior we're getting now. just seen that go down to 0. Okay, like that. Okay. Let's try our battery dongle. We'll activate with the OEM. Gotta have a channel on. Always helps to have voltage. See if it's acting normal-ish. What we'd like to see is it to raise an amperage like it's doing now. Yay! That is closer to normal behavior. Awesome. Maybe this lot won't be a complete dud. Alright, we're going to reassemble enough to do some testing, and we'll go from there. Okay, we're back together enough to attempt a test with my known good battery. So we will plug up my known good battery. And grab our power supply dongle. And let's see what happens. Full battery symbol. And we have booted up. Yay! Awesome. Okay. Flip it over. Sure we're still charging. Very good. We're fast charging on both sides. So, what's left to do here is power it down, reassemble it entirely, let it boot it on its own battery, because we do need to test to make sure that its battery can take a charge. And really, that's and then we'll perform all our testing. We'll test Joy-Cons, we'll test the card reader, just for thoroughness, and we'll test the dock. We'll be back when we're ready to do that. Okay, we're back. It's charged up enough on its own battery to do some testing. As you can see, it is recognizing my Joy-Cons. It didn't come with any, so we're just using mine. This is good. We're going to check our internet. Make sure we're picking up networks. And we are. That's good. Okay, I do want to make sure it's also picking up the Joy-Cons wirelessly. I think it's a good test to perform as well after the orange screen death I just recently did. Okay, let's see if it's picking up my game. Get it in there. It is not. Game card could not be read. Alright, we know our game card is good because I use it for testing all the time. So we may have a game card reader issue. Yeah, still an issue. Okay, so we're having a game card reading issue. Luckily I didn't button up the back entirely. We'll have to look at that and see what's going on. Alright, I do want to do a dock test, so we're going to set up for that and make sure we're docking, and then we'll pursue the game card reader issue. Luckily this lot had two bad switches that are not going to be repairable. It looks like NAND issues on both of them. So what I might be able to do is swap a game card reader out of one of those and get this one fully operational. We'll see. Okay, and as you can see, it is docking, so that is awesome. So all we have left to figure out is this game card reader issue. We'll pop it back open, pop open the back, and take a look, make sure everything is plugged in correctly. If not, if everything looks good, what we may do is pop off the backs of the other two no fixes and try theirs. Okay, I put in another card reader from the other system, so we're going to plug it back up. I guess I could just use the PSU to prompt the boot. Would help if it was on. Be much more useful if it was on. And what we're hoping for is that it will read this game, and we can be done with this repair and this lot. Okay, well, touch is working. That's good. Let's try my game. And it picked it up. Yes. So we were able to fix that using one of the game card readers from the two no fixes, bad NANDs, whatever they are. And it looks like we're going to get this one up and running completely, which is awesome. Which means, well, at least we'll get paid for this one. 1 out of 3, not the best ratio, but it is what it is. We'll put it back together, and I'll come back for our summary. Okay, in summary on this one, we had a steady 0.4748 current draw that was on the PSU and the OEM charger. We kind of suspected it was going to be either Pi 3 USB or NAND. We were crossing our fingers for not NAND because this lot's been kind of a destroyed NAND issue all the way around. So this is the only one successful out of this 3-switch lot, unfortunately. We took it apart. We turned the board over. Well, we did initial testing first before we took it all the way apart. And we had a short on the Pi 3 USB capacitor right by M92T36. We flipped over the board, disassembled it, flipped over the board, and had a big hole in Pi 3 USB. It was plainly obvious that the chip was bad. Now, that can go one of two ways as well. You can pull the chip and not relieve the short, and that's sayonara for that unit if that's the case. But we did pull the chip. It relieved the short. We put a new chip on. That solved that problem. But once we got it up and in testing, we found that it was not reading cards. Now, we could have sat there and just troubleshooted the card reader for another hour and a half. However, this lot had 2 faulty switches that are going to be no fixes. So what I did was I disassembled one of the no fix ones with the bad NAND, pulled the card reader out of that, put it in this one. It is reading the card now, and it's fine. So saved ourselves a little bit of time just by scavenging the no fix Nintendo Switch and putting the card reader in this one. And it is all checking out. It's working 100%. Other than that, there doesn't seem to be any further issues. And that's it. If you have any questions about the equipment I used in this video, take a look in the description below. They're all linked down there. It's all Amazon affiliate links now. So even if you click on something and you just choose not to buy anything from my list, if you click on one of those links and buy anything, it does help out the channel. So I appreciate it if you feel like doing that. There are also some support links in the description if you want to do that instead. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them or direct you somewhere where you can get the answer, assuming I know of a place. If you like this video, do me a favor and hit the like button. And if you want to see more videos like it, hit the subscribe button and notification bell. And you'll know when I post videos, which is usually about twice a week. That's really all I have to ask of you. I really appreciate you watching. I appreciate the channel support. And we'll see you next time.